Why does kindness sometimes lead to disrespect? Why is generosity often seen as weakness? This paradox has troubled many. Today we explore how to balance kindness with wisdom using teachings from Buddha and Zen masters.
Let's begin our story in a serene monastery, a place of contemplation and learning, where we find a devoted disciple whose heart is overflowing with kindness. He believes that kindness is the highest virtue, a direct reflection of deep understanding. He takes it upon himself to alleviate the suffering of everyone around him. He carries the burdens of his fellow disciples, offers his meals to those who are hungry, and never turns down a request, no matter how unreasonable or inconvenient it might seem. He is, by all accounts, the embodiment of compassion. Initially, the disciple's actions are met with admiration and praise. People marvel at his boundless generosity, and he basks in the glow of their approval. However, as time passes, a subtle yet significant shift occurs. The very individuals who once applauded him now begin to take his kindness for granted. They leave their assigned tasks unfinished, fully confident that he will step in to complete them. They speak to him with a tone that lacks respect, and sometimes even with blatant disrespect, knowing that he will never retaliate or show anger. The disciple, despite his genuine desire to help, starts to feel a deep sense of unease. He begins to question why his acts of kindness are not creating harmony, but instead are inviting exploitation. He experiences the inherent contradiction in the fact that the very thing he believed to be a virtue has become a pathway to disrespect. He is left wondering, what is the true meaning of kindness, and how can one practice it without falling prey to exploitation? It's this paradox that prompts him to seek guidance from his wise teacher, an old master known for his deep understanding of the human condition. The disciple approaches his teacher, his face etched with confusion and a hint of frustration. "Master," he asks, his voice heavy with concern, "why does my kindness seem to invite disrespect? Am I not following the path of compassion as I should?" The master, with a warm and knowing smile, replies, "My dear disciple, let me share a story with you, a story that I believe will illuminate the truth that you are seeking. Once, there was a river that flowed through a lush and verdant forest. The river was immensely generous, offering its clear and refreshing waters to all. The animals drank from it, quenching their thirst. The trees grew strong and tall, nourished by the river's abundant flow. And weary travelers rested upon its banks, finding solace and replenishment. The river never refused anyone, always providing for all without reservation. However, as time passed, a change occurred. The animals, instead of respecting the life-giving water, began to muddy it with their careless actions. The travelers, instead of being grateful for the rest it offered, began to pollute the river with their waste. And the trees, instead of growing in harmony with it, extended their roots deep into the riverbed, drawing more water than was truly necessary. The river began to weaken, its once clear waters turning murky and its flow diminishing. It was then that the river spoke to the forest, expressing its bewilderment and sorrow. "Why do you all treat me in this manner?" it asked. "I have given you life, yet you exploit my kindness and generosity." The forest, surprisingly, replied, "It is because you have never set boundaries. We simply assumed that you did not mind." Through this simple yet profound story, the master sets the stage for understanding the importance of setting boundaries when engaging in acts of kindness. The disciple listens intently, pondering the story of the river and its profound message. He then asks, with a growing sense of urgency, "Master, what then should the river have done? And how does this apply to my own situation?" The master replies, with calm authority, "My son, the river must learn that kindness, if not accompanied by wisdom, is like a cup overflowing. If generosity has no limits, it leads to imbalance, and it can be easily exploited. True kindness must stem from awareness, an inner knowing of when to give, and equally important, when to hold back. It's not about selfishness, but about maintaining a sense of harmony, of balance. And this balance, my son, is not just an abstract concept. It is a vital principle of life. The nature of people is like a mirror. Some will see your kindness as a virtue, and they will be grateful for it. However, others will perceive it as a weakness, as an opportunity to take advantage. This isn't a flaw in kindness itself, but in the way that some minds perceive it. Often, people mistake silence for submission, and generosity for lack of strength. Therefore, you must learn to discern, to know when kindness is empowering and when it's enabling. You must also understand the importance of self-respect. Do not think that kindness means sacrificing yourself. It is about offering from a place of abundance, not depletion. There is an old saying in Zen that says, "When helping others, do not lose yourself." Your kindness should not diminish your spirit, rather, it should elevate you. Remember the concept of yin and yang, opposing yet complementary forces in life. Kindness is like yin, soft and nurturing, but it must be balanced by yang, strength and firmness. Without yang, kindness becomes weakness, and without yin, strength becomes cruelty. The key is balance. Through this explanation, the master introduces the importance of self-awareness and discernment in practicing kindness. The master then tasks the disciple to go back into the village and offer his help, but this time with a different approach. He advises him to be mindful, to observe people's responses, and most importantly, to notice how he feels. The disciple follows his teacher's guidance, and he begins his work in the village. Initially, he continues to offer his help as before, readily agreeing to every request. However, soon enough, he becomes aware of the patterns. He sees how some people accept his assistance with heartfelt gratitude, while others demand more and more, treating his kindness as if it is their right. Recalling the master's teachings, he politely refuses some unreasonable demands. He is surprised to find that some people actually respect him more for his refusal. They no longer see him as a mere servant, but as an equal. Others, who had been exploiting his generosity, grow angry, but he recognizes that their anger stems from the loss of their control, not from any true harm that he has inflicted upon them. This experience teaches him the importance of setting boundaries, and how setting boundaries can transform kindness from a passive act into an empowered one. He realizes that his kindness must be accompanied by wisdom, by discernment, by self-respect, and a clear understanding of the situation and the people involved. He also learns that true kindness must be offered without any expectation of reward or recognition. And in this way, it is an expression of his true self. He realizes that by aligning his actions with wisdom and self-awareness, he not only regains the respect of others, but he also deepens his respect for himself. He is left with the profound realization that true kindness uplifts both the giver and the receiver.
Kindness can be misunderstood. Balance compassion with wisdom, set boundaries, and practice self-awareness. Let your kindness bend with the world, but never lose self-respect. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe.